Hey, Nicole,
Hey, Alicia.
are you so excited to do a podcast?
This is something that I think you and I've been talking about for at least 6 months, and I am so stoked that this is finally happening, and we get to share our opinion with the world.
Yeah, because we definitely have opinions.
Welcome, trendsetters. We are Alicia and Nicole from Positive Image. As salon owners, hairstylists, and business coaches, we're here to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of the beauty industry and discover the secrets to creating a thriving salon business. So grab your favorite beverage, cozy up in your salon chair, and let's dive into the world of hair, style, and entrepreneurship together.
I think it'd be nice for us to just do a quick share of who we are and like how we met, and then I guess a little bit more of who we are as individuals versus positive image. So, when did we meet?
I think we met, if my memory serves me correctly, we met during one of the lockdowns. And I think at least in Toronto, it was in the longer lockdown. It was the 7 month long one here in Toronto.
Yeah, I think that's pretty
And
accurate. It was like in the new year of 2021.
yeah, and I had started a Facebook group. Now we're dating ourselves. I
Yeah.
had started a Facebook group called Salon Owners of Ontario. And I really felt called to start this group because I was really frustrated at owners just not having a place to go and chat, especially ones that in Ontario, because we were quite segregated to our provinces at that time. What was happening in other states and other provinces wasn't happening here. And so I wanted a place where owners could come together to share ideas and to really chat about salon ownership. And
100%.
I'm not sure how you found the group.
I'm an avid, yeah, we can date ourselves about being all over Facebook, but I think as a business owner, in general, I think it's really important to find as many groups on Facebook to be a part of, so long as it has relevance. So I'm a part of almost every single neighborhood group just so I can see what's happening and see whenever someone's like, I need a new hairdresser, so I can raise my hand and be like, me, hey. So I'm also always looking for hair groups as well that are relevant to the neighborhood, the community, the space, because I'm sure we've all found that when you join a bigger word, so just like hairstylists in general, it's going to include people of the world, which exactly like you're saying, we don't have the same things to go through. And a lot of it is the same, sure, but it's not so specific to our day-to-day issues when it comes to like a province and what our regulations are here. So I thought that was really great that you did create a salon owners specific to Ontario group. And yeah, I'm glad we you posted about it. I think then you posted about Clubhouse, and there was maybe one or two other people that were also like, yeah, Clubhouse, which Clubhouse at that time was just beginning to kick off. I think they finally, maybe the end of December, beginning of January, they finally let other people join versus like their first starters. I think you still had to get an invite at that time. So we were sending around invites to everyone who wanted to join. And we just started having our own clubhouse chats, which I thought was really fun. And some of them got to be pretty cool. And I think we just kind of went from there. As we continued to learn about each other, we realized how many things we have in common. Even though we have
So
different
many things.
spaces in different salons and we run them differently, we're so alike in so many ways, which was really cool.
Yeah, I think our like the foundation of what our salons have are very, very similar. And I love that idea of that, like we're in different parts of the city and that you and I can, have completely different background, but we really have the true ethics or ethos, and the values that we share. And so I think like through our clubhouse conversations, it really became quite prevalent that like we're onto something here. Like if you and I can have the same mindset and the same experience about things, we can share this information out and we can try and encourage more people to learn or to have not the similar mindset, but be able to have an open mind about how to run a business.
100%. Yeah, and just be open to other people's ways of doing it because what we do might work great for us, but there may also be other great ideas that we either want to change or we want to adopt because we're having problems in a certain area. This leads me to thinking about another thing that's really key that we connect on and why we created a positive image, which is creating community within salons instead of gatekeeping the knowledge, and also wanting to actually elevate our industry because we're both old enough to remember the bubblegum chewing, cigarette smoking, hairdresser ideas that we're not educated, we're not smart, we don't know nothing, we're just low level laborers. So I think that's really exciting to be a part of something to continue to like share with our teams as well as other hairdressers and salon owners that no, we're artists, we're creative, we're really smart. Like the things we have to do, never mind business owners, but as a hairstylist, you have to be creative, you have to stay on schedule, you have to be a therapist and read in between the lines when your client asks something. Like it's not just about sending us a photo, being like, "Yep, okay, done." Like you have to read between the lines if you want to keep a strong growing clientele, right? So there's just elevating our industry and creating that community so we can share those things and elevate each other instead of keeping each other behind. There's so many heads. There's enough space for all of us.
I love it. And one of the
Um,
concepts that I love to share is like the collaboration rather than competition. That's just been something that I've loved to do.
yeah,
And I remember I was holding a class in salon and I decided to go around to some of the local salons to invite them and their staff to my salon to come learn. And I think I had out of 8 to 10 invites, I had one response of a yes. And it really made me scratch my head going, why can't other owners just see that? Like, if we learn together, we're more powerful together. And we're more
100%.
powerful when we feed each other knowledge because I can't do hair the same way you can. I can't be you. I can't have your energy. I can't have your mannerisms. I'm going to have my own and nobody else is like me. So why should I safeguard or gatekeep this information? And I feel
100%.
it's our due diligence now to share this information with at least the podcast world, if not more people eventually.
The more the merrier.
The more
Yeah,
the
I
merrier.
love that.
But I
I think
think
that's a
that's
great
how,
insight.
yeah, and I think that's how we came to really create positive image and teaching our classes. And right now, like as we speak, we currently have 3 classes that we have done. And they have just been such a fun thing to work on and to grow and to collaborate with and to create
Yeah,
this thing that if anybody who takes the classes, like you're gonna get your money's worth and then some. And probably even, learn from this and go beyond what we're teaching too, because it might ignite some other ideas that were just kind of sitting in there stagnant.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's part of our creative world too, right? Is like we want to share all the knowledge that we have, um, of the experience combined, but we also want to encourage people to think for themselves and be continual creators to continue to inspire and create change from there. So Nicole, what is you? What is your experience? Where do you come from? Don't ask people where they
Well,
come from. What's your
yeah.
what's your background?
Um, I was born in this industry. Like I feel so blessed that I knew exactly what I wanted right from the get-go. And as much of a blessing and a drive I had at that time, I had a few hiccups along the road because kind of what you're talking about with the bubblegum chewing, like, really, you want to be a hairdresser? Like,
Yeah.
you want to set the bar so low? I remember like I feeling like my parents were disappointed in me because I wanted to be a hairstylist, but trust me, they are far from disappointed in me now. But it really,
That's amazing.
I felt like I had to prove myself over and over again. So I started working in salon when I was 15 years old, sweeping the floors, answering the phones. I remember I got paid $30 for a full Saturday. That was my wage at 15. And I thought like I had hit the frickin' jackpot. This was great. So,
Yeah.
um, fast forward a few years, I started doing my apprenticeship and I went through the ringer with some really bad bosses who I had one woman who fired me 5 days before Christmas because she thought I was stealing, which I was not. Somebody else in the salon was. I'm sure she figured
Oh,
that out
wow.
later.
Yeah.
I had bosses who just took full advantage of somebody who was just ambitious and wanted to work and didn't really matter what they were getting into. And I am so grateful for each and every one of those bosses because they made me who I am today. I
Hmm.
never wanted to own a salon, and now I've had one for 15 years. I have incredible staff and employees, and I am now getting into coaching, and I coach other salon owners to help them make their business as best as they can be with the main focus on mindset, and goals and just kind of building the person up to be the most incredible owner and stylist that they can be. So I guess
That's amazing.
that's my time in a nutshell. And you, Alicia, I think with our conversations, you didn't start off as a hairstylist, did you?
No, I do often like going like farther back in my story. So when I was maybe 5 or 6, I actually desperately wanted to be a makeup artist. Laughable fun story. I had a huge crush on Arnie, and I wanted to be like makeup artist for the movie stars, and then meet Arnie, and he would divorce his wife and marry me, and it was ridiculous, ridiculous 5-year-old, 6-year-old fantasies. I don't even know. I mean, I imagine it was Terminator time, like that's what was popular at that age. Um, but fast forward to high school, I tried to get into cosmetology, I think twice, two different schools. My last high school, my guidance teacher told me, "You're too smart. You're not allowed to do that." Even though it was like kitty corner, like across the street, the schools were set up to do this program because it was a tech school across the street and then like an academic school that I was in. Um, but that guidance counselor didn't tell me what else I could do. Uh, so by the time I got to graduating high school, I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to work then because I couldn't get into what I wanted to do. And I didn't actually think of hair yet. I was still focused on makeup. So I graduated. I was already working full time in my last year of high school. Um, that's just who I am. Graduated with a business honors because I do actually like business. I have always wanted to own a business. I just didn't know yet exactly what that looked like. And then went into school for fashion eventually, and then finally went to school for makeup of my own. And then while I was doing that and working freelance and working in film also, doing both wardrobe and makeup, I realized I could be a triple threat if I was also doing hair. Got into hair. I didn't realize that you had to do whole license things. It was much more thorough or extensive, I should say, than wardrobe or makeup is. And so once I was getting into that, I got the opportunity to work at John Steinberg's, and it kind of just took off from there. I kind of decided I wasn't gonna actually work in film anymore, and I was just gonna do hair and work my way up to owning my own salon and eventually get there. And um, yeah, it's kind of how I ended up there. And for me, I've always been so blessed and so lucky. John Steinberg was amazing. Such a treat to work for. So creative, so funny, such a funny little man. So I never had those bad experiences, but I mean, I did work other places and I did hear a lot of other people's stories. And I've always been a compassionate, empathetic person. So I definitely never wanted my team to feel uncomfortable at work because this is where we spend the most time. So you you want to feel good about waking up and going to your job every day. You want to feel supported in creating whatever you wanted to create. I feel really lucky that I've been able to have the mindset of whether someone wants to leave the salon and go somewhere else, or they want to work part-time and, start getting into something different than hair, or even in just a different area. I was always supportive, and as much as it might have hurt my little heart, I still felt fine to let them go and do their own little thing. Um, and yeah, I guess the other big thing for me is when I did finally open my salon a couple years before that, I had started changing my lifestyle to having a vegan, plant-based lifestyle. And I noticed that even just the shampoos on a daily basis where I was before would actually give me a headache because of the fragrance that was in it. So it was really important for me to find a brand as well as the salon as a whole to be sustainable and plant-based and kind of go forward with that, which was also exciting with the elevating our industry and changing. And over the past 8 years of having the salon, it's been really cool to see all these different big brands create plant-based parts of their product line. Yeah, I'd say that's me in a long nutshell.
I love it. I love it. And then, so what do you find, like, what do you really see your future as? Like, with this podcast or with what we're doing with Positive Image, like, what would you love to see moving forward?
I think to me, it'd be really cool to just be known as, wow, a positive space, um, where people actually did feel they had a community. People did feel it was okay to share their quote unquote secrets. It feel okay to ask quote unquote stupid questions. They're not stupid questions. You just don't know the answer yet. And someone else does. So ask it. We really are stronger together. And I think if anything, the last few years really has taught us that yes, hair should be accessible to everyone. However, beyond the bare minimums, it is our creation and our art, and it is a luxury. And so keeping in mind that one, we do need to continue to educate ourselves, we need boundaries, we need to have standards for ourselves so that we can actually emanate this showing of professionalism versus that old school way. And I similarly have the story of, people thinking like, oh, you're going into hair. Okay. Good luck. Um, and I just don't want that to be the way anymore. I want that to definitely be changed and moving forward and people to feel good and not stressed financially or even community wise. I think we've all been through stuff. And I think if anything, I've personally learned is that we've all been through the same or similar stuff. We just think that we're alone. And there's absolutely no need in struggling through life alone. You don't have to like partner up with somebody, but having one or two people that you can just say, hey, I'm having a bad day, or I'm working through this. I don't know what the end goal is yet, but I don't know. Can I just talk and like you just listen? Maybe you say some things. I think that's really nice for us to be able to create a community where people realize, oh, I can ask for help. It is safe to do so. I think at the end of the day, if anything, we can just create Positive. I keep laughing because I keep saying positive. Um, we are positive image. We want to
We
create a
are
positive
positive image.
image within ourselves, believe in ourselves, belief in our community, belief in each other, and just, yeah, feeling supported.
Well, and I think just having that like positive, safe space, like we can hold space for our clients. We can hold space for our listeners or the
Hmm.
people that were on the masterclass or whatever we are doing in that time. And just knowing and having gratitude and that positivity in our hearts, I think, and I hope will attract more people to this environment. And so that we can really almost start a place for hairdressers who don't feel comfortable anywhere else can come here and they can have that conversation and be with like-minded people who don't judge, who want to share, who want to educate, who want to get better, who know that like I've been in the industry for gosh, over 25 years and I know that I don't know it all and I'm
Yeah,
so thrilled to learn my apprentices who teach me every single day that we're working together as much as I teach them. And it's the same in this environment too. Like I may know or we may know what we're doing, but we're all going to still learn and we're going to still progress forward.
yeah, that's beautiful.
And yeah, just being a leader and a thought leader in this industry just makes me smile. So I think I would love to go with that intention into the future of this podcast
Yeah.
relationship.
Well, I hope you all figured out who we are and are excited to continue to listen to our thoughts. We're excited to share our thoughts, and we'll have different topics throughout the weeks, hopefully every week. And yeah, we're excited. We're just excited to share. I think that's the biggest thing that we've connected on is we just love sharing our knowledge.
Educate the educators.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. Take this knowledge and just keep developing yourself. And hey, we want to hear from you too. Join the conversation using our hashtag Positive Image Podcast. Share your thoughts, questions, and success stories. Who knows, we might just feature you on an upcoming episode. Don't keep us a secret, tag your friends too. Want to keep learning? Check out our show notes. Find us on Instagram at hello.positiveimage and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode filled with inspiration and insights.